Timeless Taurus season oracle message.
I'm excited.
Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.
Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole. I'm a wellness entrepreneur, a lifestyle influencer, a motherhood vlogger, apothecary owner, and so much more. And today I wanted to do a little pick a card or pull some cards for the energy of the upcoming season from two decks that I absolutely love. I'm going to pull one card from each deck because I feel like the messages are so deep. Sometimes you just don't need to hear that much. So the first deck that I will be pulling from is the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. I absolutely love this deck. It's by Alana Fairchild, and it's very much for people who are on a mission to see the world look better, feel better, be better for humanity. And I absolutely love that. This deck is very much for elevating collective consciousness, tapping into your soul purpose, and just doing divine work here on earth. So I'm going to pull a card from this deck and then I'm going to read the contemplation from it. So Spirit, what would you like for us to know for Taurus season and the full moon? Oh. She rests to create, card 29. It says Nana Buluku. It says, your energy is a precious resource and there are many ways of being that can enhance it, amplifying it, and replenishing it. Give yourself sufficient rest and you shall find the way forward more effortless. Explore the lifestyle that grows your inner resources rather than requiring constant exertion and exhaustion to accomplish an endless list of external pursuits. You need this shift in being now because you are ready to accomplish more. You need this to take place. There needs to be less effort and more wisdom. Trust and value that what can be accomplished through rest. So I'm going to give you guys a little story time about what has helped me, especially when I decided to not focus as much on posting, but I literally was forced to rest because my body couldn't allow me to do more things than I could during postpartum. I tried to get up earlier multiple times. I wanted to be one of those 5 a.m. moms, and my body was like, no, you can't. Like, you need to sleep in. Also, I really enjoyed breastfeeding Indy, and I still do. And I really love like the morning time when she's waking up and she just wants to cuddle with me and feed. It's just, I know I won't get those moments back. So I've been choosing to do that sometimes and then prioritizing my videos after, or I post my videos late. This message is all about affirming the fact that sometimes you have those moments because you can actually get more done, or now you're more focused when you create, or more intentional because you've really taken the time to rest and reconsider and think about what you're out to do. So this deck is really powerful. As you can see, my nail, Lord. This deck is really powerful. This deck is really powerful, as you can see, and I really love it. It says, you have more than enough energy to bring to life the sacred visions held within your heart. So know that everything that you're thinking you can do, you're capable of. I even had to realize, like, oh, I'm actually doing all the things I said I wanted to do a year ago. It just didn't happen a year ago. But because I trusted in that vision I had for myself and I trusted that I was going to see it through, I just kept creating content and it just stayed in my phone up to a year because I was just like, I know that if I really put these things out, like I'll have all of this. Like once you document it, you have it, you know? And it doesn't have to even be about creating content because I feel like everything has become about the content. It's about living. Live your experience, and in those moments, if you want to capture it, but you don't necessarily feel like posting at the time, or you know you want to share it with others, but now is not the time to share it, allow your mind to rest, and I promise an easier, more creative way will come, and you'll be able to share everything you thought of. I learned during my postpartum that time is a joke. It's not real. And when I learned that, I was like, everything I've captured, I could still share it. I could just do it on my time. I was trying to do it on the time frame of like society, like, oh, I have 24 hours in a day. My daughter is a year old. Oh, now there's a year old. She's a year old and this much time has passed. And then I was like, okay, she's a year old. You can still post all the videos or photos or even just look back on them throughout this year. Like, it doesn't make a difference. And then you can post two later. Like, you choose the time frame is what I'm saying, and like trust that you will be able to do that and that it'll be perfect when you do it. It'll be divine time. Not only that it will happen, but it'll be the best time frame for you. It says this does not necessarily mean that which is highly stimulating. Rather, it refers to that which regenerates you with peacefulness and joy. Give generously to yourself to be able to give generously to others. You have unusual ideas or ways of being that suit you but may not suit others. Work with what works for you best without trying to force yourself to conform. This brings well-being and creative success. So I really love the part that says you have unusual ideas or ways of being that suit you that may not suit others, because I think sometimes we can be detracted from our purpose because what we like to do or who we are doesn't fit within society's standards. But when you are someone who's on the leading edge of changing society's standards, you will have to be kind of like a pushback or a rule breaker or more assertive with who you are, how you choose to show up in the world. So for me, a big part of that has been speaking out about cannabis. And even though it's something I enjoy on a private level and more for meditative and spiritual purposes, I share a lot about that experience because I do feel like a lot of people who do enjoy it, even if they are intentional about it, they do feel the stigma of it. And I feel like this is not telling you to go smoke, right? But what this is telling me is that like this may be very well suited for you, and honor that even though it may not be well suited for somebody else. So again, if you are someone who needs to find solace in knowing that maybe what has been working for you is unique, is not something that other people are doing, but it also is super helpful and beneficial, and also maybe it's very collaborative for you within your co-creation process or your spiritual process, then don't allow judgment or stigma or just your own conditioning. Like, I had to realize a lot of the shame that I have around it is just like my own conditioning at this point, because I'm like, nothing in my environment is telling me that it's bad or showing me that or judging me for it. Everyone's like, oh, go ahead, girl, smoke your weed. Or I understand very few, I mean, not everyone's like that, right? But very few people are saying the opposite. But I do think that sometimes that balance of hearing both opinions can be very healthy, because it keeps you from falling into addictive patterns, and it also keeps you in a space of holding, the things you love or your vices or your pleasures with regard, and also being intentional about when you do choose to partake in it. Now let's pull another card. I'll be pulling from the True Heart Tarot intuitive deck. I really love this deck. I really love Rachel True. I feel like she is also a huge inspiration to me when it comes to showing up in the esoteric space and showing up as a girl who has more unique spiritual understandings, connections, presence online. So just seeing that she kind of like set the tone and like not only created this beautiful deck, like get into these cards, like look at the imagery, like I love the Queen of Wands card here. But yeah, she's just really, even as an actress myself, someone who's acted and who just always had like a spiritual upbringing, but also has always been like the bohemian indie girl. Yeah, I vibes with her, and I really love supporting Black creatives and things they create. And if you love this deck, I'm gonna have it on my Amazon shop, but I'm gonna pull a card from it and get into the energy of the season. Spirit, what would you like us to know for the next 2 weeks? What card can we reflect on, and what energy can we tap into? And what I love about Rachel True's deck is she does high vibe and low vibe instead of like regular versus reversed cards. And I like that because it's more kind of going into the frequencies of like shadow frequency versus, you know, higher. I don't really love saying high or low frequencies, but you know what I mean. Denser frequencies versus more clear light frequencies. And we pulled the 5 of Wands. So let's see what her book says. Another thing I love about this book, for any of the major arcana cards, she writes like a whole little vignette. And for me, I love hearing personal experiences. It helps the stories stick, especially when you're understanding the tarot. Plus, as a Black creative and an actress, she shares a lot of her experiences of being in Hollywood and being in LA. So I really love that. And yeah, it's just like she goes super in depth. You realize that Rachel True's understanding and knowledge of tarot is super deep. So 5 of Wands, let's get into it. The high vibe, creativity, collaboration, playful energy, physical expression, and release of energy. And then for the low vibe, we have competition, aggression, defensiveness, conflict, isolation, aggressiveness, friction, jealousy, and envy. So I'm going to focus on the low vibe because I do feel like I want people to get into their shadow selves. I'm posting this around the full moon in Scorpio. So let's talk about subconscious fears and our shadow selves and how we can actually transmute that energy into something positive. So the low vibe, gossiping and envy will only slow your roll. Engaging in unnecessary struggles or conflicts, or alternatively, isolating yourself, means you're living in a low vibe. Issues around low self-esteem or low self-worth may be coming up. Wants are cards of action, and how much energy you're willing to put into reconnecting with yourself and others is a question at hand. Can you rise above the fray and tap into your personal power? Show everyone who you are. So very much like being in the energy of needing to compete with others, talk about others, like get into like very detailed discussion of what's happening in the lives of others can really be distracting towards our purpose. And then we know that this is very easy to happen, especially with Twitter. I see so many people in their not self, and not self is human design speak for not being in the highest version or vibration of their energy, especially in their aura energy. So for me as a projector, the not self is bitterness, and I feel like this definitely relates to that energy, because when you're bitter, that is when you're usually not in a space of gratitude and focusing on what someone else has or what someone else is doing in comparison to what you can offer or do or give, right? So the 5 of Wands is basically telling us, how do you combat that energy? By doing something positive. And I say that that's when we tap into the high vibe of the card. High vibe, again, is creativity, collaboration, playful energy, physical expression. If you are so focused on your uniqueness and what you have to offer in your period of melancholy or in your period of isolation, you'll be surprised how much you'll be able to actually help and impact other people, because like you're tuning into an energy or source that is completely pure, it's divine, it's from you and only you, and you don't have to worry about it necessarily being tainted with the thoughts or limiting beliefs of others. So it says, in relationship dynamics, a fun, feisty, sexy energy may be felt. Passion can quickly dissolve into discord if words and tone are not considered. Be aware of your communication. If you are someone new, if you've met someone new, get all the facts. Occasionally, the Five of Wands can mean others, one or both parties are playing the field. So again, we do want to be mindful. It's the Five of Wands is very much not so much about being guarded, but being in connection with others and also being open to experience life and being playful, but also trusting that when we do see that, okay, someone may not be receiving of this energy, knowing when to shift gears and go in a different direction. It says, in a professional or personal life, when a light bulb moment hits, do not put it on hold. It's out there in the ether and someone else may get it or claim it if you don't. Challenging dynamics can bring the team down. Focus on your gifts and strengths. So again, I've had so many situations where as a projector, especially self-projected, where I've gotten into my not self because I knew I had a really genius idea and I didn't step out and put it out there, and I saw someone else do it. And then I got bitter about it, or I felt like, damn, well, I shouldn't even do it now. When in reality, if it's that unique, no one else can do it. You always can still do it and on your own timeline, but also know that there is a timing to nature. So if you don't do something and there is a deeper understanding of why that information needs to come into the world, then the universe will bring that information or that insight or that creative idea or expression through somebody else. So be mindful of that. Know that in this season, friendly competition can be very helpful. I'm now realizing that as a creator in the well-being spiritual space, it's been really nice. Like, as I'm gaining more attention or notoriety, I'm attracting more people who are like me. And if I was in the previous headspace I was in, where I was like, oh my goodness, like, wait, like we do similar things, like, does this make sense? I'm now realizing, like, we don't do similar things. We have such unique gifts and talents, and it's actually nice to know, like, I'm not strange, because like there's also this other spiritual girl who like is into esoterics that posts like creative content, but we just do it in different ways. So understanding that and knowing that, like, when you truly find your niche, and your niche is truly your personal brand. Like, when you find what that thing is that works for you, you realize like there are no limitations and no one could do it like you. And there's going to be so many ways that you can still express that idea that you have. So I'm going to end this video here. I love these two decks. Again, one deck is called the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True, and the other deck is by Alana Fairchild, and it's called the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. So I'm going to link both decks below. Also, if you really love my videos, love human design or esoteric intuitive readings, feel free to book a session with me. I offer one-on-one human design readings as well as energy readings. I also offer distance as well as in-person sessions now. So just get connected with me. Look on my website at my offerings, or also check out my sea moss products and my shop. I have an apothecary where I make sea moss gel and other plant goods. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, just stay in the light. Peace.